South Africa, well, they say the media is only interested in bad news, but the media isn't. In context of jobs, good news is more jobs, and it's very rare, so it certainly is news. And Microsoft says it's combined efforts with the South African government for a campaign to create jobs in the IT space. Aim of the initiative to employ and train 3,000 graduates. Joining us to discuss this is Kabelo Makwane, who is Public Sector Director at Microsoft. Kabelo, you're spending, your literature says here, 146 million rand on this jobs plan. It sounds too easy almost, but you've obviously done your homework here. How's it going to work?
Well, thank you, David. We launched this initiative in partnership with the Jobs Fund to train 3,000 students over the next 3 years. Effectively. As Microsoft, we've been running skills development initiatives, for a number of years already. Over the last, 6 years, we've trained 6,500, unemployed youth, and mainstreamed them into the economy. In terms of them finding gainful jobs in the sector. We have a large ecosystem of partners, and this we drive through our initiative called the Students to Business initiative. And we essentially form strategic partnerships with both public and private sector institutions to make sure that we provide them with the right and relevant skills to bridge the economic divide, or the opportunity divide as we call it.
Now these are not people that you can take off the street. They do need to have minimum qualifications.
Yes.
And how many of them are you going to employ, and how many are going to be out there available on the market?
So, in essence, we have a large ecosystem of partners, who deal directly with Microsoft products and services, and it's with that ecosystem that we aim to find employment for these graduates.
Give me an example. Would it be a client company of yours that you do business with? Now you're saying to them, now come, we've got this project. What are you saying to them?
Yeah, so if in one instance, it could be a partner of Microsoft, for instance, who provides system integration services or related IT services. Or it could be a customer of ours, in actual fact, through which we've shown in the past that we are able to find those right employment opportunities also in our customer base, so that we capacitate our customers to be able to support their
But
IT
how do you get
environments.
people to create jobs? So there's a business that you are happy to operate. They've got a certain number of posts in the IT space.
Yes.
Now are you saying to them, we want you to create some more, or are you wanting to help them fill their present posts?
So it's a combination of both, David, truly. On the one hand, we aim to fix some of the structural unemployment gaps that we find in the economy. So the vacancies that are available in the economy, match them with the right kind of skills, ready for purpose and fit for purpose graduates, which will be taken through a 12-month internship program. And once they obviously finish that program, we will place them appropriately based on the need. And that's the key, to find the right need in the right place.
So will you be employing some?
And in other instances, as we have already shown, we also take on some of these interns and graduates that come out of these institutions. In present-day terms, we have 15 interns that started off at the beginning of this year in what we call our application factory. And these are interns that just went through the same type of students to business program. And are in paid employment.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier that you had to do your homework.
Yes.
And people say, well, 3,000, that's not very much. But 3,000 is 3,000 more than there were before.
Absolutely.
What have you learnt in this process? You're now in a position to announce it, but what have you learnt along the way? Because this is a field that is fiendishly difficult to find solutions.
Yeah, so what we've recognized and learnt, David, is that it's all good and well to train people, but if you're training people for a purpose, in other words, training them for a specific need, that's where we find the right kind of partnerships, because with the right kind of supporting agencies behind this, in this case, government's job fund, ourselves with all of our training assets, as well as the concomitant investment that we're making also in the program, together with the willing, call it employer for these students, it makes for a very good combination. So we've seen great success because of this type of model, and we aim to accelerate it, of course, with leveraging the Jobs Fund.
I would imagine that when people hear about this, people who are graduates in the infotech space, they're going to say, wow, I'm going to apply there.
Yes.
Now, don't you have to be careful here of raising expectations, and then, as we've seen in some sectors, a job is advertised and you have a dangerous situation with a number of people who arrive to claim it?
Yes, and it's a good point that you make, David. In actual fact, we've set the criteria in terms of the type of graduate we're looking for. It has to be at least somebody that has some qualification, recognized IT qualification at a minimum, or a graduate from one of the recognized university institutions, and we can then take them onto the 12-month internship program.
How do you break that cycle that we hear about so often? We can't hire you because you haven't got experience.
Exactly.
How do you get experience if you're not hired?
Exactly.
So you're going to break that cycle.
Absolutely, and that's the critical piece. That's the magic piece, actually, to the success of our formula, which is we identify the need up front. We identify those particular institutions, organizations that require specific skills, and we train for that purpose. And these graduates, might I add, people that actually get on-the-job training as well as the theoretical aspects. So they are ready to actually hit the ground running, as opposed to still having to go through an onboarding process.
What have you learnt in your relationship with government? Because people allege that government is slow, government doesn't respond, we've got solutions but they don't listen or they don't make the appointment.
Well, Mike, sorry, David, we have to be also cognizant of the fact that government has its own processes, and we have to, be respectful of those processes. And in some cases, we may perceive them as bureaucratic at the best of times, but indeed, I think they are there for a good purpose. It does take a while to get things through the process, as opposed to, I guess, operating in the private sector, where things are a lot more expedient. But indeed, these processes are meant to safeguard government against some of the, call it the corruption, instances that we find so pervasive in the country.